Hi students, welcome in our this online class and in this class we are going to take the second poem of our second unit, and this poem is Postcard from Kashmir. The writer is Aga Shahid Ali, though he receives a postcard from his home, but in fact is counted among the American poets writing in English. That's why he is included in the unit separate from our Torudat and Ramanujan and Ezekiel. But you can say that his roots are here in our country. He is still an Indian. So, something about his life. Aga Shahid Ali, born in 1949 and unfortunately died in 2001. He was born in New Delhi, India in 1949, and his family was the highly educated Aga family of Srinagar, Kashmir. So, his family was reputed as being a family of educated people even at that time. His father, Aga Ashraf Ali, was a renowned educationist of Jammu and Kashmir, and his grandmother, Begum Zafar Ali, an educationist, was the first woman matriculate of Kashmir. So that is why his family was very famous, renowned. Name was high sounding because even in 1949 or years before that, his grandmother was a matriculate woman. So Aga Said Ali himself was very good at education, and he did his study at the University of Kashmir, then at the University of Delhi, and then to the University of Pennsylvania and University of Arizona. In 1976, he left India for the United States, and there he started his career. He started his writing. He finished his higher study there, and then he identified himself as an American poet writing in English. He died of brain cancer in December 2001 and was buried in Northampton in the vicinity of Amherst, a town sacred to his beloved poet Emily Dickinson. So he was an admirer of Emily Dickinson, and the place where he was buried is related to Emily Dickinson. That might have been his will. As a poet, Aga Said Ali is a mixture of more than one ethnic influences. He has cultural heritage of India, and in India of both Hindu and Muslim culture, and then immigrated to the states. So he is with the experience of Western culture, Western society also. So we can say that in his poems we find a blending, a mixture of multiple ethnic influences and ideas in both traditional form and elegant free verse. He has written in free verse, as our this poem Postcard from Kashmir, though it has 14 lines, but it is not a sonnet. It is written in free verse. His poetry reflects his Hindu, Muslim, and Western heritages. He is the poet of memory, death, history, family ancestors, nostalgia for past, and dreams. So all these things, these points, memory, death, family ancestors, these are actually related to past. So he is a nostalgic poet. Even in our this poem, we will find that he is talking about his home, but in fact he is talking about the past days which he has spent at his home. So these are the common themes of his poetry. So far as his works are concerned, he has published many collections of poems. To name to name a few: A Walk Through the Yellow Pages, then The Half-Inch Himalayas, then A Nostalgic Map of America, and he has published another collection entitled The Country Without a Post Office. In this collection, there was a poem entitled Kashmir without post office. It was it became very famous, and without post office has become a metaphorical word nowadays. Actually, these poems were concerned about the disturbed atmosphere in Kashmir in the 90s because of the violence of terrorism. Another of his collection says, Rooms are never finished. And this one, Rooms are never finished, it was the finalist for the National Book Award in 2001. So that is Aga Said and his work as a poet. Postcard from Kashmir is taken from his book The Half Inch Himalayas, which was published in 1987. And what happens in this poem is that the poet, or we may say the speaker, he receives a postcard from his homeland, that is Kashmir. So he receives a postcard from Kashmir, and that postcard contains a stamp, a postage stamp. That postage stamp is with the image of Himalayas. And this thing brings to his mind so many types of thoughts and feelings. And it presents his nostalgic feelings about his homeland and its lost glory. He starts talking about his homeland, and then his emotions are described in the poem. So, this is the short poem. If you count, it has three stanzas. The first stanza of 4 line, the second is of 6 line, and the last one is also of 4 lines. So it adds up to 14 lines, but it is not a sonnet because a sonnet must have that rhyme scheme. It is written in free verse. So now we move to the text. Setting is that he has received a postcard. So he says, Kashmir shrinks into my mailbox. Today, when I opened my mailbox, I found Kashmir there. Kashmir was sitting in my mailbox. Actually, there was a letter, obviously a postcard from Kashmir, and I found that postcard in my mailbox. My home, a neat 4 by 6 inches. Kashmir. Kashmir is my home, and how beautiful it looks in that 4 by 6 inches picture, in that postcard. I always loved neatness. I always loved neatness. I always like cleanliness, tidiness. The things should be in the proper order. They should look brilliant. They should be colorful. They should be attractive. I like all these things. And all these things are found in that picture of Kashmir. Now I hold the half-inch Himalayas in my hand. And look, not only the Kashmir is in my hand in form of that postcard, but half-inch Himalaya, that is the image of Himalayas on the stamp. So the stamp contains the image of Himalayas. Now I am holding Himalayas which is shrunk to half-inch of size, and I am holding it in my hand. These are his feelings when he lifts that postcard from Kashmir. The postcard has come from his home, and on that postcard, in the corner, there is the postage stamp with the image of Himalayas. So, that 4 by 6 inch postcard represents the Kashmir for him, and even in that Kashmir, the Himalaya is in its shrunken size half inch. And all the things are very beautiful, very attractive. I like it. This is home, and this the closest I will ever be to home. When I return, the colors won't be so brilliant, the Jhilam's waters so clean, so ultramarine, my love so overexposed. We leave these two lines, this is home, and this is the closest I will ever be to home. For our detailed explanation. Here, true, in the continuity of our reading the text, he is holding the postcard and now he becomes sad. It is not possible for me to go to return my home. Now, this is my home, and this is the closest I will ever be to home. And my going near my home is only this much that I will receive some postcards from home and see the image of Himalayas or some other thing on the postcard. That is the nearest now I could go my home. When I return, if I go there, if I return back home, the colors won't be so brilliant. Now, the colors which I left, the time when I left, the colors of my country, the colors of Kashmir, the colors of my home were so brilliant, were so lively. Life was full of colors and gaiety and joy and dances and songs. It was a very colorful life. But now the brilliance of the color is gone. It has lost its color. The life has become dull there. And if I return now, what will I find? That the Jhelum's waters so clean, so ultramarine, now they won't be in that condition. When I left, the waters of Jhelum, the famous river flowing through Kashmir, its water was so clean and it was ultramarine. Ultramarine, it was of navy blue color, bright, shining, a symbol of purity. It is of blue color because the reflection of the blue sky was falling clearly in the clear water. So the water is not muddy, it does not make the reflection hazy. The exact blueness of the sky would come down to the surface of the water. So it is ultramarine. But now that thing will be gone. I will not find that colorful life now there. I will not find that ultramarine clean waters of Jhelum now if I go there. My love so overexposed. Even it is only in my love. It is only in my memory of that loving home. Now it is overexposed. Perhaps I will not be able to get the exact image of my home if I go there now. In our next class, we will take the remaining stanza and we will discuss these lines. This is home and this is the closest I will ever be to home, because these lines are interpreted, may be interpreted in two ways. So, see you in our next class. Till then, goodbye. Goodbye and take care.